What is going on, fam? I got a heck of a story, man. For those of you who don't know, this guy, his name is Robert. His name is Lytle. Okay. He is the owner and operator of a website by the name of Black Sports Online, BSO. Now he's been able to gain traction, I would say, over the last year. He appears on TMZ. I don't know how much, but I know he appears on there with segments. And apparently, he's gotten himself in a bit of a situation because there have been women coming forward with claims against him. And these are very damaging claims. This is just some of the tweet thread. I actually spoke about it on my Twitter page. Y'all should be following me on Twitter, you know. Where is it? Here. This was my first response to it. Now I know people who are familiar with my channel. They think that I'm just an apologist for men, that I don't ever hold men accountable, or you'll be wrong. That's why I have videos called Don't Be This Guy, because I'm constantly trying to remind a lot of y'all that no matter what station you are in life, never use your position to get anything from the women who work under you or with you, because what's going to happen is they're going to use it against you. And this guy was foolish enough to get himself caught up to the point to where you have these women coming forward with their stories. They're talking about how he harassed them. They're talking about how, he, I guess when they didn't do what he wanted them to do, he when they left the website, he scrubbed their names. There were women who were saying they weren't getting paid. Now these are women. No men have come forward, which means that this guy might be the only guy writing for that blog. Which means that he basically, look at this, man. Look at this. And look what he calls himself. The overseer. Or maybe that's what she calls him, but they have this group chat, I guess, and he's probably the only guy there. Because you got these simps, okay, because he's one of these conscious pro-blacks. He's one of these guys who get on social media calling out Caucasians for their disdain of black people. He's one of those guys going around in his I'm with Cap jerseys. He's one of those guys, okay? I actually like some of the stuff he did a couple years ago, but he just turned into one of these caricatures of, what everybody else is. Everybody else is pro-black, everybody else is conscious, everybody else is against the system, but we putting ambiguous women on our websites. We're hiring nothing but melanated women so we can hit on them. That's this guy, Robert. Robert is the antithesis of a guy who never really got the girls he wanted when he was in high school, but when he got older, educated, got a position of power, he used it to his benefit. And it's a benefit that's got him caught up right now. Okay, it's a benefit that has him getting drugged all over social media. He's getting drugged all over social media, and there are women coming forward on this guy. And he's running a business. Let me tell you the first mistake you made, Robert. You mixed business with being a simp, okay? You gotta leave the simping outside the business, man. Can't get caught simping on the clock, okay? Because it's going to be used against you. All right? Let's get into this article from the Shadow League. They got all the messages, man. Look at this. Look at this. They got receipts on this guy. He did do an apology. He didn't deny anything. So for a lot of you dudes, they're gonna come to this video and you're gonna be like, they're trying to Me Too him. Okay, he didn't physically do anything to any of these women, but it is still a bad look for him to be saying what he is saying in those tweets, and those text messages, man. Like he's literally flirting with women who work for him, and they're giving him the Heisman, and he doesn't know when to just fold in the situation. To the point to where they leave, and because he's upset, he goes and he scrubs their name from articles. Not every dude is worth saving. You got to be able to call out the worst of the bunch, because if you don't, you're going to be lumped in with them. All right. It says Black Sports Online CEO Robert was the recent subject of accusations by former female employees who say he encouraged and led a culture of misogyny, inappropriateness, discrimination, and used his power to constantly make unwanted advances towards his predominantly female staff of writers. That's strike one. Let me tell you something, man. That's a red flag. Whenever you got one of these guys who have nothing but women around them, that says a lot about their mentality. I'm not saying he has to have a bunch of guys around him, but you gotta look at it this way: what you're hiring a bunch of women to write about sports. I mean, I can understand if you're talking about fashion, maybe if you're talking about music, but you're talking about sports. So you're bringing in a bunch of women to work on a sports blog. That's gonna be a red flag right there. All while not paying these aspiring journalists a penny for thousands of stories contributed to his company. According to the witnesses, who all came out one by one to tell their surviving BSO stories, Lytle would remove their names from stories they had produced for the site after they turned down his advances and left the company, so they didn't have any stories to show other prospective employers. He would also use his position in the industry to execute smear campaigns against anyone who left the company. Let me just say something about the articles. I actually, back in 2016 and 2017, I actually did some stories from the website, but the articles were so underwritten, and not all of them, but some of them were. There weren't effort put into them. I don't know if it was him or people on the staff, but I don't think, if some of these women was writing these articles, I don't think that it was him. That's why they're not getting work. I would just say that, a lot of the topics, it's like, what, come on. Anyway, the women, all aspiring journalists, say they initially refused to speak on their horrible experiences at BSO in fear of retaliation by Lytle and how that might affect their careers. Former college track athlete turned sports journalist Sheena Quick dropped the initial report on Black media Saturday when she courageously stepped out and revealed her experiences working at BSO with plenty of receipts to back up her claims. And these are the tweets here. All right, this is the initial tweet here. It says, I preface this by saying that I went back and forth myself on whether I was going to share my experiences at BSO. I was afraid that it may jeopardize future opportunities, and it's sad that so many women are forced into silence because of this fear. I began writing for BSO in May of 2016 at a suggestion of a former writer who was a friend of mine during the training. Your posts have to be approved by Rob before they are posted. One night, Rob stated that if I have more than a certain number of errors, I had to show him my boobs. Oh boy. I tell you, that's a problem with these guys, man. Awkward isn't really the word that can sum it up. This was super awkward. That this guy who's running a company, he's running a business, is stooping to this. It's like, bro, are you serious? but there's more. There's more. All right, let's see. This might be the same ones. Yeah, this is the same ones, but there's more. In addition to this, BSO writers are not paid. Despite writing hundreds of articles, writers pay for their own hotel travel, per diem, etc., while being addressed in a condescending tone in group chats for everyone to see. So they're having group chats, and I guess he's speaking to them in a way, talking down to them, Even after my time at BSO, Rob continued to discuss and lie on me to other writers in an attempt to tarnish my reputation. Even after my time, read that. After I left, Rob set out to see who my future credentials were through, even though it was no longer his business. Once writers move on, especially if they leave on their own terms, the smear campaigns start, sometimes passively and sometimes through downright lies. From 2016 to 2018, I wrote over 800 stories and my name has been removed from all of them. There's another writer, Tamantha, all right, a news editor for Revolt magazine, also came out in length about her uncomfortable experiences working at the BSO. She also posted a story from an anonymous former employee who had similar experiences as other women working at the BSO. I want y'all to understand, man, this isn't about, and I'm gonna link y'all to this article. This is weird and it's crazy, man. I want y'all to understand, man, you know, you're running a business and you have to make sure that you set the example for your employees. Your employees are the ones who are going to be doing the heavy lifting for the most part, especially if they're not being paid and they're interning. You know, there was one female in particular I saw. She actually defended him because I guess she worked for Rob and she didn't go through those things, you know. Now, I don't want to just jump to conclusions, but she was not of the melanin, persuasion. So, but again, different stories, I guess. Or maybe Rob didn't have to put effort in, but you know, I just think that you have some people out here like him who, again, they have a company and they use it in order to get with women. And that's the wrong way of going about things, man, because it can be turned around on you to the point to where it ruins you. And Robert is in a very tough spot because this is all over social media. There are a lot of different websites are writing about this. So if my video is being made, right, people can't come back and say, well, you're pointing out something nobody else is pointing out. I'm pointing out something that a lot of men need to look at because they make this mistake. It ain't just Robert who makes this mistake. There's a lot of these guys that make this mistake. They're using the position that they have to get at women in the workplace, whether it be co-workers, whether it be, you know, you're a manager or supervisor, and you have women that work under you and you get, it's just, you cannot do that. It's going to be used against you. But these same mistakes happen over and over. Now, again, a lot of this wasn't recent, but it was in the last couple of years. And according to these women, again, I'm not just going to take their word over his, but he didn't deny anything. So he doesn't give me much he didn't give me much. He didn't deny anything. He apologized. As a matter of fact, let's go to the apology video. All these receipts. Hold on. Let me go and check out some of this. Calls himself the overseer. Ain't that a bit? Okay. This is from, I guess, the group chat. All right. I guess that was from the group chat. And again, I'm not just taking their side because they're, this ain't about taking sides. This is about looking at something that is not a good look for men, especially men who run businesses and companies, because we're all going to be judged very differently. This is the type of, no, I don't want to show it. This is the type of thing that you have to really worry about. Hold on, let me go to, where is it? Okay, here it is.
Come on in. Just come on in. Everybody come in. All right, so first off, let me say this. There are some things, as you saw, that I've said to my female contributor.
Okay. I'm not really going to play much of the video. Y'all can go to my timeline and check it out. Because I don't want any issues. I don't like to play other people's videos on my content, but y'all can go and check it out. But the receipts are all here, man. I mean, this is bad, man. But we'll see how it ends up. Hopefully it ends up good for Robert. I don't know because You know, they're going at him on Twitter, man. They are really going after him on Twitter. And you're going after the golden goose, which is the black female. You cannot criticize, nor can you agitate or annoy them, because what's going to happen is they're going to turn around and go at you. There was one woman, there was one black woman. She was talking about how it's so bad for melanated women, you know, because of all the rampant issues. And she mentioned colorism as one of the issues that is rampant in sports journalism. I had to chuckle at that because I don't think there's a colorism issue in sports journalism. I think there's a quality issue in sports journalism. There's not a lot of good sports journalism out there. That is why you have these situations, man, where you got a situation that's going on with the BSO, and you have people who are, you know, going at Robert because they are not handling their responsibilities and hiring the right people and taking this thing seriously. You know, maybe they didn't think there would be a cancel culture. Maybe they didn't think that this stuff would come back on them. But when you go at this black woman and you a black man and you agitate or annoy or in what he was doing, harass, you're opening yourself up to a lot of problems, man. But we definitely gonna see how this situation plays out.